To begin with, let us take some basic terms related to data handling. The first term is statistics. Statistics is that branch of mathematics which deals with collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. So now the question comes, what is data? In maths, data is a collection of information in the form of numbers, like ages of people, marks obtained by children of a class, temperature of various places. So anything which you can express in the form of a number is called data. Now there is a term range related to the data. So in the data, if we find the minimum and maximum value, then their difference is called range of the data. Next comes frequency. The number of times any observation occurs in a given data is called its frequency. To explain these terms, I'll take up a simple example. These are the marks obtained by some students of a class. Now, if you look at it carefully, the minimum value of the data is 9 and the maximum value is 30. So, what would be the range? Yes, it would be 30 minus 9, that is 21. Again, we can also find the frequencies of various numbers from here. If I take a number 19, this number occurs 2 times in this data, if you can observe. So, frequency of 19 will be 2. Now, if you carefully observe the other numbers, they all are occurring only once, and so the frequency of all other numbers will be 1. Each number or each term of the data is called an observation. Three measures of central tendency related to a data. What we understand by measures of central tendency is that these values will have a tendency to lie in the middle of the given data. First measure of central tendency is arithmetic mean or average. You are familiar with the term average. It is also called arithmetic mean or simply mean. So the formula for finding mean is sum of all observations upon number of observations. Let's see an example. In this example, there are 5 numbers given to you. So there are 5 observations. So to find out the mean, we'll add all the observations and divide by 5. And this will give us the answer 100 upon 5 equal to 20. So 20 is the mean of this particular data. Now here you can observe one thing, that the mean is coming 20, and in the given data, if you count, there are 3 values which are less than 20 and 2 values which are greater than 20. So this means the mean 20 lies in the middle of the data, and that is why it's a measure of central tendency. The next measure of central tendency is called mode. Mode is that observation which occurs maximum number of times in a given data. Let's understand how to find mode with the help of following examples. In the first example, there are only few numbers and we will arrange them in ascending order because it makes it easy to find out that which number is occurring maximum number of times. So you can see from here that 10 is the mode of this particular data. But when the values are very large and there are 100 or even more numbers in a data, then this method is not useful. In that case, the data is given in the form of a table like this one, and we can find out the value of the mode from this table. Observe this table carefully. Here the number of shirts gives us the frequency. So which is the highest frequency? Yes, it is 37. Now 37 is the number of shirts of 105 size. So 105 is the mode of this particular data. The third measure of central tendency is known as median. Median is that observation which lies exactly in the middle of the given data, and it may or may not be the observation of the data. So let's understand what is median with the help of these examples. Now, median is calculated separately for odd and even number of observations. So in our first example, there are odd number of observations, that is 7. To find the median of this data, we will arrange it in ascending order. And when we arrange it in ascending order, we find that 12 is in the middle of this data. There are 3 values more than it and 3 less than it. So the median of this data is 12. Now when the number of terms is even, like in this example, in that case, when we arrange the data in ascending order, then we get two middlemost values. Like here, we have two values 10 and 12 because 3 are less than these and 3 are more than these. In this case, median is the average of these two numbers. That means we will add 10 and 12 and divide by 2. So 11 is the median. So you can see that 12 in the first example has three values before it and three values after it. So median is exactly at the center. In the second case, median is 11 and there are four values less than 11 and four values greater than 11 in the given data. And this means again in this case, median is exactly at the center. So median always lies exactly in the middle of the given data. Next, we are going to discuss how to draw bar graphs. A bar graph is a pictorial representation of numerical data by a number of bars of uniform width and equal spacing between them. So let us take up an example to show how the bar graph is drawn. We will be studying about two types of bar graphs. The first one is called single bar graph. To explain it, let us take this example. This table shows us the number of supplies and type of supplies. Number means frequency, so frequency we will represent on the y-axis of the graph and types of supply on the x-axis. You have already learned how to make a single bar graph in class 6. So this is the graph which we are going to get here. You can observe that there is equal spacing between each bar and the width of each bar is also same. Each bar represents one value of the numerical data and the height of the bar gives us the frequency of that particular observation. For example, number of pens will be 2. The second type of bar graph is called double bar graph. It is very useful in comparison of two types of data. So you may have understood that we are going to compare two quantities here. Let us take this example. Now this table is showing us different classes and the number of girls and boys in the various classes. So you can see that here instead of one quantity, we are going to represent two quantities, that is number of girls and number of boys on the same graph. And so this type of graph is called double bar graph. The method of drawing double graph is same as that of single graph. The only difference is that you will find two bars attached together, one for girls and other for boys. Let's see how the graph looks. You will take care of one thing here, that every time the same quantity is plotted on the graph first. For example, in class 7 number of girls is 20 and number of boys is 25. So the first bar represents number of girls and the second one represents the number of boys. And in the same way in the other, you have to make an index on the top right side of this graph where it's clearly visible that the dark blue color represents girls and the light blue color represents boys. And there is equal spacing between the various bars.